Welcome to the course on microprocessor architectures and assembly programming, week 9, session 1. In this session, we'll extend the discussion of previous segment. Previous session, we have discussed about 80386 block diagram. What are the units of 80386? And then we have started with address translation, and I have given little bit introduction about segmentation. Today we'll discuss about more detail about segmentation, and also we'll focus on how exactly it is mapped logical address into linear address, and then we'll see the paging. The reference is same, Intel 80386 Programmer's Reference Manual. So segment translation, what it does, it converts or it maps logical address into linear address. And then it is followed by paging. The page translation, it maps linear address into physical address. So we have seen this diagram last time where logical address is of 16 bits plus 32 bits of offsets, total equal to 48 bits. So the length of logical address is 48 bit, length of physical address is 32 bits, length of linear address is also 32 bits. So this portion, it's segment translation, means segmentation, and this portion is process, that is paging or page translation. So logical address is a segmentation is applied on logical address, we will get linear address, and if it is not optional, the paging is applied, then we will get physical address. So paging is optional. If paging is optional, then if we apply segmentation on the logical address, we will get physical address directly if the paging is optional. But if this paging is mandatory, in that case segmentation and paging, we will get 32 bits physical address. So to go further, we'll discuss one imaginary diagram, why we require, and where logical address will be generated, and when and where the physical address is available to memory. So this left side diagram, left side we can consider this is microprocessor, this side we can consider RAM, and the bottom sides I am just mentioning hard disk drive for sake of our understanding, which contains test.exe or other exes. Microprocessor and RAMs are connected by address lines and data lines. These are unidirectional address lines. And over here, these are bidirectional data lines. So this portion of microprocessor, I'm dividing this microprocessor in three parts. First part, middle part, and last part. This we can say it's a BIU, bus interface unit. And over here, the physical address should be available over here. Physical address must be available over here such a way that the address will be placed on the address lines. On specific address, data will be fetched on data lines, and from data lines, data will be available to again BIU, and BIU will transfer to the specific register. In microprocessor, there are three types of register we have seen last time in last video. The segment registers. So this portion is available for segment registers. Last portion is available for offset register. This is for segment register and multi-purpose register or general purpose register. General purpose register, GPR. So over here the EAX, EBX, all those registers we may consider they are available over here. Offset value, that is nothing but instruction pointer, stack pointer, source index, and destination index. These are the index registers which we have discussed in 80286 video. Segment registers are CSR, DSR, ESR, and SSR respectively. code segment register, data segment register, extra segment register, and stack segment register. So this portion contains segmentation registers. This contains general purpose registers. These are the offsets, and in between over here we can consider the paging and segmentation. This is for segmentation. First it comes segmentation, then paging. Why I've written dotted line? Because if segmentation is paging is not mandatory, sorry, paging is not mandatory, we can go with segmentation and we can generate physical address. In case of paging is mandatory, segmentation gives the linear address to physical paging, and paging will generate physical address. That's why I created dotted line. So this is a mapping area which maps from logical address to physical address. So this portion logical address is nothing but virtual address, and this portion is physical address. In between we can consider it's a linear address over here, linear address. So now consider the test.exe file available over here, which is location of test.exe. Test.exe. User double clicks on the exe. The test.exe will be transferred into memory, and in memory we know very well it creates 4 segments. It creates 4 segments. The first segment we may consider it's a code segment. The second is data segment. Third one is extra segment, and the fourth one is stack segment. The code segment contains codes or instructions. Data segment contains data or variable which user has declared. Stack segment contains the return address of the functions. When the function is called, the return address will be pushed on top of stack. So this is the purpose of code segment, data segment, stack segment, and extra segment. The extra segment, if the data segment uses dynamic memory allocation, if it requires more memory, so from extra segment it may allocate memory, and if the stack gets overflow, we can use some portion of extra segment. So in test.exe is loaded into memory. It creates 4 segments: code segment, data segment, extra segment, and stack segment. All these segments will have a base address. Base address means, let's say the code segment is having a base address 1000. The data segment is having a base address 2000. The extra segment is having a base address 3000. Stack segment will have a base address as of 4000. Rather over here we can assume not exactly it is available over here, because stack grows in upward direction, data segment grows in downward direction. So this code segment, the base address is 1000, so that will be part of CSR. So CSR contains base address 1000 probably. I'm using word probably because this is normal scenario before the segmentation and paging came into picture. But when the paging and segmentation came into picture, this base address will be part of some other portion that we'll see soon, that is a descriptor. So right now currently assume this 1000 is available in CSR. This 2000 is available into DSR, 3000 will be available into ESR, and 4000 will be available into SSR, stack segment register. And microprocessor will fetch the address of the first instruction. That's why it requires address of the first instruction, which is nothing but 1000, and then after subsequently it fetches the next instruction from the next memory location. So to track the memory location one by one address, means in a sequential order, it uses instruction pointer. Initially instruction pointer will be initialized by 0. It is initialized by 0 initially. So the what this mapping does, instead of in absence of segment and paging, what the memory management was doing, it adds this physical address, the base address plus offset to generate physical address. So base address in this case, code segment is 1000. Instruction pointer contains of 0. That's why the address of the first instruction is 1000. That is given to the BIU. BIU will transfer over address lines, and from address lines it goes to RAM. From RAM, on the first memory location, instruction will be identified and it will be transferred through data lines to BIU unit, and BIU unit will store respectively into IR register or any other register. Most probably if it is instruction, it will store into instruction register that will be decoded by decoder. So this is the requirement of the instruction, means when the processor starts executing any instruction, it requires the first address of instruction, then second address of instruction, that will be calculated in this way. It uses CSR and offset value. To calculate the address of the second instruction, IP gets incremented by 1. So IP equal to 1, the CSR equal to 1000. So now 1000 plus 1, it's a 1001. So this way it calculates the address of the next instruction. So we can see over here IP plays a major role to track which instructions will be fetched next. So this is equivalent to program counter. Program counter, it points to the address of the next instruction. Same way IP, we may say it points address of the next instruction. Now let's to understand the data segment, let's take one very example. A equal to B plus C, and the value of A equal value of B equal to 50, value of C equal to 60, and this is address location for A. This is B, C, and A. So now, if the microprocessor wants to transfer data from variable B and C, because the operation is A equal to B plus C, which may be identified by first instruction, that's addition operation. So it has to fetch data of B and C from memory to microprocessor. That's why it requires physical address of B and C. So to get the value of B and C, it uses data segment register and source index register SI. So this 2000 will be part of, or not will be, it is part of DSR, data segment register, and this SI, as the way instead of variable, it will in machine level language, it shows relative address. So this instead of B it will write 0, instead of C it will write 2. I am considering this integer byte memory location occupies 2 bytes, and the address of A would be 4. So this is relative location of B, C, and A. So that stack index will point to 0 or will contain 0. So base address of DSR plus SI will be added together to generate physical address. So 2000 plus 0 will be added together, becomes 2000. To fetch value of C, 2001 will be added together, that becomes 2001. And B and C will be fetched from memory to microprocessor to respective EAX and EBX registers. So this is where how does microprocessor wants each and every address from core segments and data segment. Similar way we can assume from stack segment respective registers SSR and SP pointer. SP is indexed into a stack pointer, stack segment. So this is, I have discussed about CS and DS. In that sense, CS and DS, this is 16-bit CSR value and offset value is 32-bit. In case of CS, this is 16-bit of port segment register, this is 32-bit of IP, instruction pointer. So this is nothing but that we have discussed. This is selector and offset value. So selector is nothing but part of CS, says like port segment register. Offset is nothing but index pointers. Same way for the data segment. So there is a DSR. This is 16-bit DSR value, and then SI value, that is of 32 bits. Then same way ES and SS. So conclusion, I want to explain you where this selector from where it came and from where the offset came. Now we are going more ahead on segment translation. This 16-bit selector value, that is nothing but code segment register, and this is offset, nothing but index pointer. Now this value of selector, which is of 16-bit, points to index into a descriptor table. Descriptor table, this is a part of memory. This is part of memory, and the length of each entry of the segment descriptor table is a segment descriptor, which is of 64-bit in length. So this is one entry of descriptor table, which is known as segment descriptor, which is 64-bit length, and this 64-bit contains 32-bit base address. So we will get 32-bit base address from 64 bits. And then this 32-bit base address and offset will be added together, 32-bit base address and 32-bit offset added together to generate 64-bit linear address. Sorry, 32-bit linear address. This is of 32 bits as well. So now let's go ahead in depth into a selector and this segment descriptor. This is the format of selector. So first two bits 0, 1 and 2. So first three bits are used for RPA, that's a request appropriate label, that's for security and protection mechanism. Fourth bit, that is indicates for table indicator. There are two types of table, GDT table and LDT table, that we are going to see soon. GDT stands for global distributed table, LDT stands for local distributed table. If the value of TI equal to 0, it indicates this entry belongs to GDT table, and if the entry of TI equal to 1, it indicates this entry belongs to local distributed table. The two tables that differentiates within this entry belongs to GDT and this entry belongs to LDT. And the rest 14 bits which is indexed into a descriptor table. This is segment register. The detail of segment register, CSR, BSR, what we have discussed in the diagram. So it's a 16-bit visible, this selector, and this is 64-bit hidden descriptor. So CSR, the CSR is not only the 16-bit, it is of 16 plus 64 bits. Total is 80 bits. Now, where it is placed, now we are going to discuss conclusion about all this discussion. This is selector. The selector is nothing but this is the format of selector. It's a 14 bits selector and 4 bits for controlling. This selector is part of CSR register, and this whole that also contains hidden descriptor. So this whole structure, whole data structure is available over here in this descriptor registers. So this selector, it is derived from these descriptor registers, and this is enlargement or detail of selectors. This offset value, they are part of this register file. So index registers which we have discussed, they are part of register file. So this offset comes from this register file, selector comes from this descriptor registers. And we may consider this portion is a memory. So memory, as we know, there are two types of table we have discussed in last slides, LDT and GDT. This is GDT table and this is LDT table. And GDT are having many rows, not many, it's a limited rows. LDT is also having many rows, limited rows. So that row is nothing but this GDT and LDT, they are descriptor table. So that is descriptor table is a part of memory. So this hidden descriptor, what does it contains? The hidden descriptor contains the segment descriptor of respective process. So if the process is having the 6 segments, so 6 entries from the descriptor table will be copied and available over here. So in short, the descriptor registers will contain this 16-bit visible selector portion as well as 64-bit descriptor value from memory. So every time the microprocessor does not need to access memory, it can get 32-bit address. We will see in the next slides. It gets 32-bit address, base address from this hidden descriptor directly. It doesn't require to access descriptor table frequently. So to reduce the number of access to memory, they have included hidden descriptor, which is part of CSR or code segment register, data segment registers, or descriptor registers. Now we are going to see what is inside of this segment descriptor, what are the fields of segment descriptor, and how can we derive this 32-bit address that is known as base address. This is format of descriptors. This is the first portion is used by application or user, and the next, this one is used by system segments. The 0 and 1 differentiates between this is application and this is system segments. If you look at this, it's a 32 bit. This is also 32 bit. So 32, 32, it's equivalent to 64 bit. So that is length of whole descriptor is 64 bit. This is segment base 0 to 15, 16 to 23, 24 to 31. So 0 to 31. So the base address of 32 bits will be available from these three fields. The segment limit, that is of 0 to 15 and 16 to 19, means 20 bits. 20 bits segment limit or segment size, we can fetch it from here. This G means granularity, that's available. You can see the bottom, it's a granularity. In the granularity, there are two values, either 0 or 1. So 0 indicates that whatever the limit field, that's we getting from this 24 bit, multiply by 1, we will get the actual limit. As it is of 20 bits, so maximum size of the segments can be 1 MB. But if any application program or any data which has more than 1 MB of data, for that the granularity will help. If the granularity is 1, so limit will be multiplied by 4 KB, so which is equivalent to maximum size, we can have a 4 GB over here. So in that way we can extend the size of any segment by changing the granularity bit from 0 to 1. So if it is 1, we limit field will be multiplied by 4 KB. If it is 0, whatever the limit will be used as it is to check the limit whether the instruction or data it is accessed out of the segment or not. As I told you, there are two types of descriptor: global descriptor table and local descriptor table. Each and every, this is global descriptor table and local descriptor table available in memory. It's a very simple data structure. It is in form of table. But there are two registers available in microprocessor. These two registers are part of microprocessor: GDTR table, GDTR register, and LDTR register. Global descriptor table register, local descriptor table register, which contains base of GDT table and LDT table, local descriptor table and global descriptor table respectively. So they are part of microprocessor. So we saw that the selector is of 16 bit. Out of 16 bit, 14 bit specifies index into this global descriptor table. If this is index, it points over here, so it will have a n+1 value, which is nothing but here. So this is index value 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. We can consider the last index value is 8191. So total number of indexes are 8192. Similar way, local descriptor table, total number of indexes is equal to 8192. And the size of global descriptor table or local descriptor table, if we multiply by 64, we will get the size of either LDT table or GDT table. Because each and every entry is one entry is of 64 bit in length. 64 bit in length. Now we are going ahead in page translation. The page translation, the linear address is converted into logical address. This is the format of linear address. The offset is of 12 bits. This is for 10 bits and this is of 10 bits. So total 32 bits. As per the requirement, we change the number of bits allotted to directory, page, and offset. Image change. This is page translation view. This is similar to segmentation mapping. These 10 bits indicates indexing to a page directory. Page directory is a single per operating system, and the base address of page directory will be pointed by CR3 register. There are 4 other registers available in 80386 microprocessor: CR0, CR1, CR2, and CR3. So this CR means control register. So this control register 3, it is available in microprocessor which contains base address. This is base address of page directory. So then This index into a page directory contains base address of page table, and this page contains index into a page table which will contain the base address of page frame, and page frame is nothing but the memory block. Memory block, we can consider the memory is divided into number of blocks of equal size 4 KB, that is mentioned over here. The page frame or block is of 4K bytes, which is contiguous address, physical memory. So this is of 4 KB. This is memory divided into fixed size of blocks, that is known as page frame, and this contains base address, and this contains offset within base address. To generate the physical address, base address and offset will be added together to generate physical address, PA. This is page translation, that is made of directory, page and offset. This is combining segmentation and paging. This is comes from CSR, DSR or any other register. These are the index registers, and this points to segment descriptor. Segment descriptor, we will get the base address. From base address we will get this linear address, which is further divided into directory, page and offset. The CR3, which is part of microprocessor, from that CR3 we will get the base address. From base address and from this directory we will get index. We will get the base address of page table. So keep in your mind, each and every process or each and every segment, they will have their own page table. So page table will be equivalent to the number of segments available into, or not available, but it is currently allocated to any processes. And page directory is a unique system-wide, operating system-wide. This page points to a page table indexing to page table entry, and the coordinate of this points to base address of page frame. Offset will be added together to generate physical address. Thank you for watching this video.